I've been thinking about something a lot. It's been burning in my mind for quite some time. And when I say a lot, I'm not meaning a couple hours, a couple days, a couple weeks. I'm talking about a couple years. And for some reason lately, it's been really creeping up on me. Before I get into that, I have a question for you guys. How many people here in the profession that they are in right now knew, kind of like from the very beginning, that that's what they wanted to get into? Raise your hand. Anybody? Wow, nobody, okay. I don't feel alone. How many people here got into one career and then made a switch? How many? Oh wow, a lot of people, okay. I'm gonna call on some of you. I would love to get insights. What was it that caused you to go from that job to another? Lee, Christian, you had your hand up. I'm gonna call on a couple people, just real brief. Love to.
Got fired.
Elena, what about you?
I just decided it's got to be something more than what I was doing before. I decided to explore and look for something better that aligns better with my personality.
What were you doing before?
Real estate financing.
And then what'd you get into now?
Social and environmental investing.
Wow. And Cody, did you have your hand up?
I did have my hand up.
What about you?
Got burnt out.
What were you doing before?
Stand-up comedy,
Okay. And then now?
technical writer.
So I guess what made you decide technical writing?
Kind of fell into that.
Kind of sounds okay. The reason why I bring this up is, I guess it's a combination of past couple nights I've been thinking about a lot and journaling at night, just wondering, what do I want to do with myself? What do I want to do with my life? What else is there? And I know that even though I'm kind of have time on my side a little bit, I'm only 29, but I still sometimes wonder, okay, if I keep doing this cycle, how many people have heard the expression, insanity is doing something over and over again, hoping to get a different result? How many people here have thought about something, but then just kept thinking and thinking and thinking and haven't done anything about it and just kind of felt they're in the same position as they were before? Anybody here? Okay. Now I kind of understand what I've been thinking about. And I'm wondering, all right, where am I now? Where do I want to go? And the biggest question that I've always wondered for people who have done great things is, how do they get into that? I'll give you a good example. There's this gentleman. He had gone job to job to job. I guess if anyone has made a career change who has gone through that interview process to look for a new job, it can be kind of a grueling, exhausting process, right? Can everyone agree with that? Well, this particular gentleman, he had a really hard time holding a job. He went from insurance agent to real estate, janitor, and at one point he was homeless. But there was something about him that he got into, crazily as it sounds, got into hair. Now I've always wondered, okay, he got into hair, and who here has heard of Paul Mitchell, the hair company? Okay. Who here has heard of Patron Tequila? Come on, everybody. Well, this particular gentleman, his name's John Paul DeJoria, and he owns both. And he went from being homeless to being worth about $6.5 billion now. And while I'm not necessarily looking to be a billionaire, I sometimes wonder, why hair? How did he decide that's what he wanted to get into? Does anybody know that's what they want to get into? Like, what is it? Is it just a feeling? Is it something they grew up with? And this is what I've been thinking about. And while I do have time on my side, I still wonder, okay, so I want to get into a new venture. All right, so I take that risk. Great, I can do it. Awesome. What if I fail? Yeah, you hear all the trite lines. You don't know until you try. I mean, it's not really failure, and it's just the way you interpret it. Well, there's some legitimate consequences. Emotional, financial. I guess the worst that can happen is I thought to myself, well, if I try this venture, and I become homeless. That happens. What can I do? Who's seen the movie The Pursuit of Happiness? Raise your hand. All right. So for those who haven't seen it, you kind of understand. It's a guy named Christopher Gardner. He has a son. He's trying to get his act together. He thought he wanted to go to med school, but he decided, okay, there's something about medicine that's not going to quite cut it. He's trying to figure out how to provide for his family, for himself. He eventually wanted to become a stockbroker. He went through a lot of pain to get there, and at one point, even when he was a stockbroker, he was living in his office, he had a son he had to take care of, he was trying to figure it out. Eventually, he managed his own firm and he sold it for a multi-million-dollar deal. Great ending. But then still that piece of, okay, the struggle that he went through, how did he push himself through that? And then during that time, what did he do to get himself through that? And how did he know, okay, I want to be a stockbroker. This is what I want to get into. Was it, you hear a lot about, you got to be passionate about what you want to do. You got to love what you do. I don't know if I buy that, because I wonder, there's got to be more to it. What is it? What is that little elixir? And while I don't know the answer, I guess it's one of those things where I'm constantly trying to figure out what is it. And who knows where it's going to end up. I don't know. Maybe I'll try something, maybe I'll get into it, completely burn and fail. I don't know. Then again, at the same time, you gotta wonder, well, didn't try it at all. Wouldn't know otherwise. So I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I kind of just wanted to have a group discussion and know that, all right, glad that I'm not the only one who's going through this. And I guess if there's any other role models that you may have, look up to them, see what they've done. And the reason why I bring these two particular people up is because they didn't know what they wanted to do well into their late years. I guess it kind of gives me hope, like, all right, I guess part of my mindset is, all right, I got one shot, better get it right now. I guess that could be a self-limiting belief that I'm having, who knows? There's just kind of things that I've been thinking about that's been keeping me up at night. I don't know if anyone else has thought about things like that, but that's kind of where I am and what I wanted to share. Now, is there going to be a happy ending? Maybe. Maybe not. But as I say, it's not necessarily the end result. It could be the journey. So I guess no matter what you do, have fun with the journey.